This tutorial is going to show you today how to use a free app called Bloomz. Bloomz is available on any device with an internet, so whether you're using a Chromebook, a PC, a Mac, even an iPad, tablet, or any type of phone. Bloomz is a communication app where you can communicate with parents and students. You can send reminders, you can send announcements, you can even have some slots for parent-teacher conferences and even sign-ups for volunteers. So let's show you how all that is done. So to begin, you have to create an account. So you would go to sign in. Okay, and I already have an account, so it took me right to my account. You will have to create your account with your username and password. Now when you first sign in, your dashboard is going to look a little different than mine because I already have a class set up. So I have a few things that you may not see right now, but the tools on the side should be the same. So the home screen is always going to bring you back to this screen where all your classes are listed. This is, we're going to invite our participants, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. Our classes are here. Right now you should have something called a demo class, which they actually set up for you, Bloomz, so that you can play around in the class and see how this works. I created a practice class, so we're going to do the same thing right now. We're going to create a class. So whether you add or join a class, you would hit on the bottom here with this plus sign, and I'm going to add. And what I'm going to do right now, I don't want to join one. This is how you will join later. You will get an access code. But when you're creating a new class, what is your primary role? So for most of us, we're going to be teachers, so I'm going to click on teacher. So I do need to add a school name or it's not going to let me save. So if you click on that, it'll bring up some that are there. It seems to be taking things that are in the area, but you can put your own. So at the bottom, it'll even say school not found. Scroll to the bottom. Don't find your school, add a new school. And I'm just going to call this Mountain. You can put in your specific school if you'd like. And I'm going to call this video practice. So I know this is the one that I'm using to make this video. Now there are a couple other options that Bloomz has. They have a behavior management program, student portfolios where you can send work to parents, and a parent-to-parent communication where two parents within the classroom can talk to each other. So now once you create a class, you'll have the name at the top here. This is the feed or the wall for this particular class that you're working in. You'll see all your other classes listed over here. If you're a middle school or high school teacher, you may want to have a different class for each period that you teach because you may have different announcements and different reminders for each class. So now to start with, you have this cover photo, and you can change this if you'd like. So if you click Edit Cover Photo, you have the option to upload something that may be saved on your hard drive, or you can pick from albums that you have saved on your hard drive. I don't have anything right now. I'm going to leave it for now. The other thing you can do is your cover photo here. You can click on that and you can upload. So if I have something on my desktop that I may want to use, I'm just going to take this picture for now. Before I start adding things to the classroom, though, I want to invite my parents or students to join. So you'll see over here it'll invite all class parents. There's actually a difference for parents and students joining these classrooms. So I'm going to go to members, and it says add all your students. Now you can add them, but it's easier to give them a code and that they will find the way to get into the classroom. So up here you see students, teams, and members. So I want to be on students, and it says give students the access code down here. That's the quickest way. If you've used Google Classroom, it works the same way. Instead of adding each student individually, you can just ask the students to go on and give them this access code. So if you click on this, a couple of different ways will come up. So you can they can open the app, okay, and they will click on their student, and then they will join with this QR code. Okay, so, or they can just use their phone if they have a QR reader, it'll recognize this and it'll put them right into this classroom. Okay, so either you can view the code, so if I click on view the code, now students can take their smartphone or their device, and if they have a QR reader, can read this and it'll automatically attach to this classroom. The other way is if you have this poster that maybe you're handing out, so I downloaded it. Okay, this is how you can give it to people on a piece of paper telling them what to do. So they have to click on the app, okay, or download the app for their phone or their tablet, whatever they're using. They have to click a student. When you click, you are a teacher, and then they can use this QR code. So once your students have scanned and they're all part of your classroom, then you can move on to parents. Teams right now is something that they're working on. It's still not available yet for the program, but if we hit members, meaning other than students, members, if you invite all class parents, okay, and you also have something called invite your room parent. A room parent would be like the class parent if you want them to be able to also post in here, but they may want to actually have their own Bloomz classroom, but that's up to you. So for now, we're just going to stick with inviting class parents. Now, you can type emails manually to invite them. You can use a Gmail map. It's also through email, but it's another way if you have the contacts in your Gmail already, which you probably don't right now. And the easiest way would be this class access code. So if we click on that, this is the class code. Okay, so when they join, okay, they would put this code in. And if you want to manually improve each one, so let's say you want to make sure and verify that that is the actual parent, you may want to click that on so that they can't just give this to anybody. Okay? And these instructions will also go with them. You can print this out, okay, or you can email this to them explaining what Bloomz is. So what you can do is you can print out these directions. So here's the code. So I'm going to open up, these are PDF files, so they're going to open another window. I'm going to open this up. It's downloaded it. And we'll click on that. Now I'm outside of Bloomz. So you can print these flyers up for parents, and it gives them exactly the directions of how to join this class, okay, how to get the app, okay, where to go to create the account. Here's that class code that is specific to that one class, so they're not getting into other classes. They're just going into your class. And if they've already been using Bloomz and they already have an account, then they would do what's the directions from here. It's that same code. Okay? Or they can even text this code to their phone, okay, and get one, but this would only be one-way messages. So if they want to interact with you, they wouldn't be able to do that unless they had the actual app. So once again, you can print those out and give them to your parents, and that's how they can join your class. So now I want to show you what it looks like on your phone from that end when you join. There is this blue B at the top with these 3 lines I'm going to click on, and that's going to bring up some options for you. Okay, and you'll see add or join a class. So I'm going to click on that. And this is where you would put that code in. Try to get it so you can see it. So it's a little lighter, and it says join existing. This is where you would put that code, that we had that KX code with that 5-digit or numbers and letters code. Again, if you look at that top arrow at the top there and you click on that on the top left, it's going to bring up some options. Okay, you'll see a settings wheel in the middle, so I'm going to click on that one. And this is where you would set for your calendar notifications, email notifications, so that anytime something is posted in the class or the postings for the classroom, this is where you can tell to send it to your text, to send it to your email, to how often, and your different profile settings. So that's what you would do, how you would get it to work on your phone. So now I'd like to start posting things in my class, and there are 2 things that you can do. You can create, which has several different options that we're going to go through, but message is if you want to send to just one person in the class. Okay, so you can send to a recipient. Right now I'm the only person in the class, so that's all that's going to come up, but this is where your contacts would be listed, and you would type in the name here. So if you want to send something to just one student or to one parent, that's what how you would private message them. But if you want to send something to the entire class, we would click create. And the first thing that you can do is a post. So you can create a post, so I'm going to click on a post, and you have the class that it's going to. So right now it's going to video practice. If I have other classes here that I want to post it to, I would just type in the name. So if you are a teacher, like an English teacher, and you have 5 periods of the same class and you wanted to go to all of them, you could put it in here and have this one announcement go to every person in the class, of all classes. I'm going to scroll down a little bit here, and I'm going to have a title. And maybe I want this to be a reminder. And I want to remind the students, bring your novel to class tomorrow. Maybe you were working in writing and you didn't expect to work on the novel, but something changed and students don't always bring it, so you just want to remind them to bring it that day. So you can always add photos to these posts. You can add files, so maybe you have a question sheet that you want to attach here. You can attach that. You can schedule, so you can schedule this to go out. If you don't want to post this immediately, you can schedule it. Maybe I don't want it to go out until tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So then you would schedule the date and time that you'd like it to go out. If not, if you hit post right now, it's going to post immediately. You can have the option of no comments. This is just a reminder. I don't need comments. This isn't something or a question that requires answers, or you're not asking an opinion where you want people to weigh in sort of and give their comments. So I'm going to not allow comments for this post. And it tells you that. They will not be able to post on this one. Okay? And if you want to share this to Facebook or social media, that's where you can do that here. But I would think maybe you're just going to stay within your classroom for now. So I'm going to hit post. And now you see that post. Okay? Now this goes out to everyone in this classroom, and depending on how you set up those reminders, you just heard that little beep, that was letting me know that there's a message in this classroom. So if you have this set up as an email reminder or a text reminder, you would get the text right then when you heard that beep, and you would get the email right there when you heard that beep. So I'm going to go to my email because I have this set up to, and I'm just going to refresh. And that email should be here telling me that I had, there it is, that I just posted a reminder. Okay, and there it is right there, and I can open it up. You have options for adding several types of posts, so we're going to look at the next one, which is student work. So if you click on student work, when you have students listed in your classes, you would put their name here, and you can put the title and a description. You can also put photos and files here. So if you want to take a quick picture of a child's drawing, let's say, or something they've done, and you want to attach it and send it to the parent, you can send that directly to them. Post the students' work. So if they're all doing something, maybe they're making posters, and I want to showcase one poster that I like in particular, I can select that student, put the picture here, and then put it on the timeline. And again, if I want to allow comments or not, I would do that here. So it always defaults to allowing comments, so I'd have to click it on so that you cannot post, but then you can always turn that off. And here are your options for that. And then you would hit post. The next thing you can do is Bloomz has added a behavior management system into this platform. So if we hit awards, I made up a name here, so you can add names. So I'm going to add another student, and I'm just going to add the name. Now you can copy and paste them all at once in your class so that you wouldn't have to do this individually. I'm just going to pick that for now. So now it shows the students in my class. If I click on them, so if I click on that, there's all these options for giving them awards. Okay, so you can send a note to the parents. Okay, you can either say good job or need some work. So maybe they did something really caring and you want to put that in there and give them the award. So Emily gets a little caring sticker, and that goes to her wall, so she would see that. Okay, maybe Daniello did some good things. If we want to add the parents onto that. Okay, so if we had who are the parents? All right, here's a parent. And I'm going to add. I need their email here before I can add them. Okay, so once you've done that, you can hit add and update, and you can send these little notifications to parents and students for that they've done well in class. And the timeline shows you a feed of all of their work, so you can send a portfolio. Students can create a portfolio, okay, and this is how you would attach it and send it on. So if you click here, this is how you would add student work and message parents. This is another options that you can do from here. So once I'm done in this section, you weren't thinking, how do I get back to where I can post again? I would click on feed. Okay, so then it'll bring me back to my wall. So the next thing I can create would be an announcement. And announcements always appear at the top of the page. So this is something that maybe you want them not to forget. Okay, maybe you want to remind them that tomorrow is park testing, or there's a math test or something that you need. So once again, you would say what class you'd like it in. And What you can do with this is, since it stays at the top of the feed, it's asking you how long you want it to keep it at the top. Because as you post new announcements, new posts, whatever you post, always goes to the top of the feed. So something that may be important may get to the bottom, and you may want to keep it at the top. So you can pick the date and time of how long you'd like it to stay there. So if it is about a math test, then you want it to go away after that math test is over. So then you can change this date and time here. And this is where you would title it and put your actual announcement. And again, you can do photos, you can do files that you can attach to this announcement, and the option to have no comments. And then you would hit post. The next thing would be to message the class. So this would be to send an instant message right away to the entire class. Okay, again, you can add classes here, put your message. This does not give you the option to attach at the bottom. This is just for a message. So this may be, maybe it's a snow date and you want to remind students, or, because of the snow date, the test is moved to the following day, or don't forget your homework is still due on the day you return. That's where you would put a message here and you would hit send and it would go to that class. The next option on your list, under the create button, is an alert. Alerts are for immediately alerting your class or school parents, so if there's a power outage and the school is closed. If you need to get to parents, a message to parents immediately that it's something very important, you would use an alert. Okay? And usually it tells you here that it's only used for sort of an emergency or a semi-emergency, so that's why it's asking, do you want to continue? Do you really want to post this? Because alerts should be very sparingly. They should be for something like school closings, some sort of emergency, maybe bus pickups or change, something like that. So if you want to continue with it, then you can create your alert. Okay? And then you have the option here for posting as well for this. But they should be used sparingly. After alerts, you have an event. So maybe you have an event that you want to add to your calendar. So let's say that it is the Immigration Day parade. And the location is outside the school in the courtyard. If you have any notes, if there's something that you want to add to that, something that they need to know that's important, okay? What calendar do I want to add it to? I wanted to add it to the video practice class calendar. You can add it to others here as well. Is this an all-day event, or does it only start at a certain time? So I'm going to say that it has a certain date, so it's on September 10th, and that's going to be at not a.m. Let's say 10 a.m. And it's going to end at 11 a.m. Okay, does this repeat? Does this happen on a certain day of the month? You can put that in here. If there's a reminder, so if you want to set this so that you get a reminder, okay, at different times the day before, okay, sort of like on your phone when you put an alert in or a reminder, you can set that there. You can invite certain people, so maybe this is for the entire class, maybe it's only for certain parents in the class, maybe something like an awards dinner or something like that, maybe only, not the whole class is invited and you only want to send it to a couple of those parents. And this is where you would say if you need an RSVP and the date, and if not, okay, right now it's not required. If I want to turn it on, then it is required, so that I would need to know when. And if you need volunteers for this event or items, you can send that here. So maybe after the parade is a class party and you need, paper cups and juice and things like that, you can list that here. And if you maybe need 2 parents, you can list that here. Okay, then you would hit save. So I'm going to add something here. What items do I need? I'll say paper plates, and I'm not going to worry about people right now. I'm going to hit save. Now, do I want to notify all the members in my class or not notify them? So most of the time, if you're putting something on a calendar, you would want to notify them. So I'm going to notify everyone in the class. And now if I go over to calendar, up here you have your feed here. We were in members before, and I just heard that beep, and on my phone I just got the alert. It says I'm invited. So I'm going to go to my calendar, and now it shows you tomorrow this is on the calendar. You need an item. If you click on it to see what it is. So as things get added to your calendar, this would be filled here. Okay, this would continue with several dates. As I'm done with my calendar view and I want to go back and look at my feed, I can do that. I want to create, and the next thing I'm going to create is volunteer help. So I can sign up or ask for volunteers, okay, and it works similar to the calendar where you can put in the date and the time. You can invite individual people or the entire class, and you can say what you're asking for volunteers for. So I either need items or people. For what event, you fill in your information and you would hit save. You can also create parent-teacher conference slots. So you can publish time slots. So if we go to this parent-teacher conference, in what calendar? I want to put it in this video practice class. Okay, what location? Maybe I'm in room 10. And I'm going to scroll down. I want to add a date. I'm going to make that on the 21st. And let's say you were going to do it all day from 9 to 5, or we'll leave that time for now. Are we going to break for lunch? Yes, I'm going to break for lunch. When does the break start? 12 to 12:30. That sounds good. This is all customizable. If you just click in the screen on the time, you have all your different time options there. I'm going to leave mine. And as you scroll down with the scroll bar on the right here, you can see all your options. So let's say your time slots are 25 minutes each. Again, this is where you can change it. I know most parent-teacher conferences are probably around 15 minutes, so you can change that here. If you want to have a break in between each one, so a 5-minute break, maybe giving enough time for one group to leave and the next one to come in. Okay, do we want to keep them private? Most of the time we do. We don't really want to know when another parent signs up, so we would check that on. Okay, if you have any notes or issues that you want to let parents know about, make sure they bring a folder with them, or make sure they bring something with them, then you would have notes here. And if you want to have reminders for yourself that you have these appointments set up, you can set up reminders. If we go to next, here are all our time slots. Okay, so kind of look at it. You see the 5 minutes in between the break, 5:25 to 10:25 to 10:30. Okay, if these all look good, these are your slots that you want to send out as an option for parents to sign up. I'm going to click next. I want to send it to all members, and then I'm going to click done. Okay, so now they would get this saying, I want you to sign up for the conference. Okay, this is the message that it kind of generates on its own. If you want to put your own private message in here that's different for this, then you would just highlight and type over it. Okay, for now I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to hit send. Okay, it's added to the calendar, 15 slots available, and I just got an alert on my phone saying you've been invited to sign up for parent-teacher conferences. There's that beep. So I got an alert on my phone that I got something from Bloomz. I'm going to click on Bloomz, and as that opens up, taking a little bit of time, it's going to let me know that I have a message. So I'm going to go to my video practice class, and at the bottom, see at the bottom there, I have a calendar option here. I'm going to click on that, and it tells me everything that's on my calendar. So I have that first one about the parade, and now I have the parent-teacher conference signups right there. So I'm going to click on that, and it tells me where it is and the time slots. Okay, and now I want to pick a time slot. So as I scroll, you can see the different time slots that are available there. So you can pick one. All right, so I'm going to pick the options for this one. And it says sign up parent. At the bottom there, it's a little hard to see. Slot options. Okay, do I want to sign up? So I'm going to say sign up parent. It's going to sign me up. I'm going to click sign up. And as I do that, pick my person. So that's who's signing up. You are the member of that room. I'm going to click sign up. And now if you look at the schedule, it's blocked off, okay, that I have to pick that time. Okay? And now I want to send at the bottom to make sure that the teacher gets this. Okay, so if I have a comment, I just want to say thanks and send it. Okay? And now that's already picked that slot. Okay, so that slot won't be there now when other people go to see where it is, so that that slot's assigned to you and other people can't take it and you know that you have that slot. So now if I go back and look at Bloomz from the teacher side, I'm in my calendar view and I see that I have parent-teacher conferences. I click on that link. It now tells me 14 slots because I signed up for one. Okay, so if I just scroll down here, here's all my slots, and there's the slot that I filled in. Okay, so my name would be here. So now this is how the teacher would have their schedule of everybody who fills in on these options here. If you click options, okay, this is where you can edit, you can remove it. So maybe the parent calls or sends you an email saying they can't make it. You would remove them from there, and then it would put that slot back into the pool of slots for people to pick. Maybe you need to delete a slot. Maybe it's the last slot of the day and you realize you need to go before that, or you really don't have one at that time. You can delete it. So right now I'm going to leave it all the way it is. Okay, and this is where you can see everything that's on your calendar. Okay, so now you can go back, and here's my calendar right here. Now if you click on this plus sign, it gives you options for the event. So what type of event? If I click on this event, I have all these types to put in. So is it no school? Is it a reminder? Is it a pickup? So on your calendar for each event, you can say what type of event this is. This is for your own planning. You know, if you know it's somebody's birthday and you have the calendar and you have all that in there, or there's no school on that day, this is really for your own purposes. That helped. So once I'm still in my calendar view here and I'm done, I want to go back to my feed. And I want to look at some of the other options, last options under parent-teacher conference, and that one is to invite a group. You can create subgroups, so within this class maybe you have a class parent and you want to create a subgroup and just be able to identify that group separately, then you may want to do that here. Okay, so those are the options for what you have for adding onto your wall. Okay, this is a great way for you to keep up or help students to remind them, maybe in the younger grades or even as they get older, if there's a reason you need to get in touch with them, like I said, to bring a book or maybe to not bring something, or maybe the location of your class changes. The possibilities are endless. So if you think this is something that you could use in your class and you'd like to contact a facilitator, you can always go to our website to the form and fill out a request form, or if you just have a question after watching this video, or maybe just an idea or want to run something by us, you can always send us an email, and we're here to help you any way you can. So good luck.